$1. That's good. We're making good time. Fantastic. Okay, so if PYD falls to $1, right? Midori, do you make money or does Yuji make money?
I make money.
Right, because you have a short position, right? And this is the way you make money. Watch this. You borrow $5,000. How much do you think you return? So if PYD stock is only $1, how much money do you return to Yuji?
I get $1,000.
No. You borrow $5,000,
Uh-huh.
but you return $1,000. Do you know how I got that? So you return 1,000 shares, but they're not worth $1. Does that make sense?
I thought $1,000 stock.
No, it's 1,000 stock. There's no value. Does that make sense?
1,000 stock.
Yeah.
Much per minus $100. It goes down.
Oh, no. Do you see this question mark over here? This question mark is what price PYD changes, right? So look.
In this case, this is $1.
Yeah.
Not minus $1.
No. This is $1, not minus $1. It's $1. Oh, just so you know, there's no negative stock price. Stock price is always has a value. Stock price is usually positive. So sorry if I have bad handwriting, but stock price is always a positive number, right? It's going down, but like it's positive. So Midori, do you get how this happens? So now PYD stock is only $1, right? If PYD stock is $1, guess what? You have to return 1,000 stock at $1. So you return $1,000. So how much money do you make? If you borrow...
I make $4,000.
Yeah. Perfect. That's how you make money. How much does Yuji lose?
$4,000.
Yeah. Perfect. Right? If you gain, he loses the same amount. Fantastic? So this is what shorting stock is. The reason why they have to make it so stupidly complicated is because when you, for example, right, the reason why they made this is if you buy a marker, right, and it gains value, that means that you can make money. But how are you going to invest in something that loses value, right? If something loses money, there's no way you can invest in it. But for example, like you guys know like heads and tails, right? For a coin, right? You need to be able to do both sides, right? There has to be good and evil, right? You can't just have too much good and too much evil. That's a terrible example.
But banks wouldn't make a contract for stocks that they believe are going to go down, right?
Yep. Okay.
And then, that they believe are going to go down. Like, let's say there's like a CD player manufacturer, and they have a stock, but you know it's obvious like iPod now. Let's just say that's an example.
Okay.
They would not have like it's obvious that it's going to go down. So.
Actually, I just used the bank as an example. You can usually short almost any type of stock if it's available.
Really?
Right. And the way that works is because it's not usually a bank, right? But it's like an exchange. You know what I mean? So like when you buy fish at the market, it's like an exchange. So you can do whatever you want actually. The reason why I picked the bank in particular is because this is how it works for a lot of big, even small little companies. But for let's say really small companies, right? I don't think some really small companies you can't short. Because if you short, right, not only do you make money on the price going down, it hurts the person too. Does that make sense? So like when you short a stock, yeah, obviously you make money and stuff, right? But the stock that you shorted hurts. So if you do this to PYD, and a lot of people do it, PYD could lose all its value. And Mr. Sakai would have to go on vacation. Does that make sense? I mean, I try to use this example not to be funny, but no, it's you know, it'll help understand. So does that make sense? So one thing about shorting is that it's actually very there are some misconceptions, like in movies, right? They say like shorting is really bad, and it is because you can actually hurt people a lot.
Like people working at that company?
Right. No, if you're just one person, you're not going to do anything. You have to be incredibly rich. But if you short the stock, right, and a lot of people short the stock with you, it gets very dangerous. That's why there's actually, you know, law, right, like a regulation that up to a certain point you can't short the stock anymore, right? Because they have to, you know, make sure the company doesn't do that. Because then let's say we were both the 3 richest people in the world, right? Say, oh, I hate this guy. We short the stock, that company goes bankrupt. We make so much money, but that company goes bankrupt, right? The reason why nobody says anything bad about long is because if you think that they're going to gain, if you make money, right, they make money too because the stock price is going up, right? So this is not for like, this is what you need to understand, but this is more like moral stuff, whether you're a good person, bad person stuff. But actually, it's perfectly fine to short, right? Because you can't just have all long positions. If you have a bad market, sometimes you have to do this, right? So people maybe do 5 of this, 2 of this. Depends what you want to do. Okay? Any questions? So wrap up very quickly in the next 2 minutes. You borrow 1,000. When you borrow something, you have to return it, right? This is the price it starts at. But this price is a question mark, because this price can change according to what happens. If Roberto does well, boom. If Roberto does bad, boom.
It's tough too.
Simple, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to review these things, and then anything new that we cover, like just like the basic points for every class. So then that's going to be my type of quiz, but it's going to be something where you can review things and remember it easier, quicker. Because I think a quiz takes like 9 hours, and I don't really like to make quizzes. Okay, so does this make sense? Okay, fantastic. Portfolio positions. This is the foundation of the class. Now, types of analysis, right? We can actually, you know, cover through this very quickly, right? So, so you don't need to know what fundamental analysis is, but there's 2 types of analysis. Technical, we already talked about, right? And the next one is actually fundamentals. So fundamentals is just basically, you know, a company has income statement, balance sheet. I'm going to cover this very quickly because this is actually not part of the class. There's a reason why. Income statement, balance sheet, shit. Okay, cash flow. Cash flow statement. Okay, so so a company, right? Every year, every quarter, every 3 months, they have to tell the investors how their company is doing, right? So they have income statement, like basically how much income they make, right? How much their costs are, how much income they make. So that's pretty easy. Balance sheet is assets and liabilities. So assets and liabilities is just basically, Midori, this is what you own, and this is what you owe. So, for example, right, your business owns a lot of chairs, right? PYD owns a lot of chairs. But what do you owe? Let's say Yuji is an investor, right? And he paid money for your business. You owe Yuji money, right? So liability is something that you owe to other people.
A plus L.
Asset? I think Laura covered this too. But anyways, liability. This is just, you guys don't need to know this. I'm just trying to give you background, okay? Right? So income is just like, you know, income for the company, right? These 3 things are what a company has. Income, and balance sheet is assets and liabilities. This is what you own, and this is what you owe. So, asset. You know what's an asset? Anything your company owns. So PYD, marker, chair, Apple, computer, right? Best Buy, TV, electronics, customers, right? salesmen, right? The building. This is all everything that they own. A company owns certain things, right? So this is pretty easy to understand. Asset is just anything that you own, almost, with value. So even your water fountain might have value because you can sell it, right? And this makes sense too. And liabilities, a company usually owes money because a company is so big that when, let's say, I want to create a new business, right? I can't do that like without borrowing money or, you know. Like, so this is basically, a lot of this liability is like bonds. I don't know if you learned in Laura's class, but Laura's class is, remember you owe someone money, right? So a lot of companies have bonds is because they want to raise money, right? They want money from the investor to buy something new, right? Let's say Midori, you want a new chair for your business, right? You don't have money for it. You create a bond and you say, okay, investor, I'll pay you back more money later. But I want to buy this chair now, right? So every company makes income. They own something and they owe something to other people, right? They have to pay things back to other people. And then cash flow. Cash flow is just money going in and out. There's 3 types, actually. I'll just say it right now. So there's 3 types of cash flow, right? Cash going in and out. It's investing, right? So when you spend money to invest, right? Financing. When you spend money to buy something for your business, right? Finance, right? And then, what's it? Operations. So cash flow, so cash to run your company. For example, right, if you own an electricity company, right, and your company has no electricity, your company will not work. So I'm just giving you background because a lot of people, right, analysts who study like accounting statements, or like a lot of accountants, right, what they do is they look at this because a company releases this, and they do something called financial modeling, and they come up with a magical value for a stock, just based on assumptions. So they do all this complex stuff, right? Just based on, okay, so Midori, let's say I think Yuji's business is going to fail, right? Or let's say I think Yuji's business is going to grow, right? And I go and say, okay, I think it's going to grow 5%. So that means every year I think Yuji is going to grow 5% stuff. And then I'll come up with some magical value for everything.
What's investing is like how much the company's investing, right?
Right, what they invest in. So if I buy this.
Okay.
Right.
And operational is like the cost of operating,
right? Operating is, you need to operate your company.
And then what's financing?
So financing is what you need to finance any like transactions. So like bonds, for example, are an example of that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Bonds is a type of like financing. The money you need to buy stuff for your business, basically. Right?
Okay.
You're trying to finance. Let's say you want to buy a company. You need to finance it with money. You want to buy a chair. You need to finance it with money.
That's not included in operation?
Yeah. No. So some of that is actually.
It's like
yeah. You have to do accounting.
All right.
So I just wrapped this up very quickly, right? This is actually not important. Well, it is important, but it'll take a lot of classes to learn it. You'll have to take maybe, a lot of accountants know this, and like, you know, a lot of an analyst or whatever, they have to go through many years to just, you know, help themselves with this. It's actually not that bad if you want to learn it by yourself, but. Okay, so the reason why is because fundamentals, right, I don't even think is 100% correct. Because even though you have real information on the company, it's just like, it takes you a long time to understand. And if you're like studying something else, you can